Здравейте на всички! Вие сте с мен Цветко Цветков и както сте видели от заглавието, в днешния клип ще си говорим за Вито 600.
Can you play a song?
Yeah, get ready. Dang it, I missed. Dang it, I missed again.
Never mind.
I wasn't done yet. Now you're really gonna have to listen.
Can you play a song?
Yeah, get ready. Dang it, I missed.
This happened earlier today. Let's take a look at it.
All right, so Fox News alert, President Trump is back in Washington after cutting his time at the G7 summit in Canada short. The commander-in-chief saying he has not reached out to Iran for peace talks.
Meanwhile, more than 300,000 Iranians being warned to evacuate Tehran, the capital, as Israel's Operation Rising Lion intensifies, striking dozens of targets overnight.
We have live team coverage. Mark Meredith is at the White House tracking the administration's response. But first, we go to Mike Tobin. He is live in Israel and Tel Aviv as the Israelis assess damage from Iranian missile strikes to military and civilian targets. Hey, Mike.
Hi there, Ainsley. The Iranian missile barrages are part of every day and night. An Israeli military spokesman now says some 400 Iranian missiles have been fired at Israel. What we saw in the overnight hours, however, was instead of the usual hundreds of missiles coming at Israel, what we have seen since the start of Operation Rising Lion, about 20 came last night. 4 missiles got through, hitting in the town of Herzliya, which is just north of Tel Aviv. One of them set a bus on fire in a parking lot. Another set a structure on fire. But no injuries reported thus far. Meantime, an Israeli official says the IDF is not done hitting targets inside Iran. Yesterday, the Iranian state TV building was burning after it was hit by an Israeli strike, a hit that happened while they were live on the air.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday. This was nuts. Holy fuck.
Israel also says Iran's wartime chief of staff was killed. Ali Shadmani was his name. He was the most senior military commander.
4 days on the job. Man.
Closest to Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. But he only had the job for 4 days. He was appointed after his predecessor was killed in the early days of Operation Rising Lion.
We still do not know who will be the substitute's replacement. I would advise...
Well, yeah, if you did, they'd be dead. Yeah, that's the reason why.
Advise anyone who is offered the position to consider
it's the only job where you don't want to be promoted.
To take it, he is advised to be extremely cautious.
Bro, are you kidding me?
Replacement. I would advise anyone who is offered the position to consider carefully. If he agrees to take it, he is advised to be extremely cautious.
Man.
And that same Israeli military
more kinetic
official
diplomacy.
says that 10 Iranian scientists essential to Iran's nuclear program have been killed since the start.
Not a fan of assassination, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I view assassination as the lesser of two evils. Like, assassination prevents escalation of, like, a lot of soldiers are not really the ideological leaders of movements, right? Like, you have grunts and boots on the ground that are just trying to defend their country. The real fault, like, I mean, saying that you're against that, like, I mean, don't we all complain about how when a company goes bankrupt and the CEO fires a bunch of people, but they still get a bonus? Well, think about this person as the CEO. He just got fired.
Part of the operation. Ainsley?
Right. Mike, you showed the video of the Iranian state TV, and we saw that blast while the lady was anchoring. She was speaking Farsi during that explosion. And I was told that a man off camera was saying Allah Akbar. And Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, says the TV station was not a legitimate news outlet, but a tool of the totalitarian regime. Was the lady that we saw, was she the one that was killed? I know a lady did die.
Well, obviously she didn't die.
Well, I know that woman who you see on TV there has now popped up on billboards all across Tehran. She is being hailed as a hero. We only know through Iranian TV that one woman was said to have been killed. But if you look at the woman who was in that video, she doesn't appear to be hit by anything in the initial phases of the strike, just frightened very badly.
All right. And lastly, have you heard any credible reports of stirring on the streets against the Ayatollah regime?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a great question.
No credible reports. What
Nothing
I'm hearing
yet.
coming out of Tehran right now are just
They're probably
reports that
trying to
people
leave.
are very afraid,
Yeah.
and they also don't have international reporters inside of Tehran, so they feel very isolated. They don't feel that they have anyone to run to.
Yeah, I heard that they just basically turned off the internet in Iran.
But they're extremely fearful at this point, Brian.
Right. Thanks so much, Mike.
Did you have a question?
All good, Mike. Appreciate it. I just want to point to something that the administration, they're going on the offense because there's been several attacks saying that the president has changed his position, although you can go through the record of him saying they can't have a nuclear weapon. But they cite this report that they gave to Congress on June 10th, and it says that it is estimated that the current stockpile and the available centrifuges across several enrichment plants are sufficient to produce its first 25 kilogram of weapon-grade material in roughly 1 week, and enough for up to 10 nuclear weapons in 3 weeks. So
yeah, apparently, like, I mean, that's not what the U.S. intelligence said. It's hard to know whether that's true or not.
they're saying, look, we've been warning for a while that it was getting this close. This is why we put so much pressure to get a peace deal done.
You know why? Because last night, The
tried.
Daily Show had Jon Stewart roll back some Netanyahu clips where he says the Iranians were close back to 2010 and 2015. So they're saying essentially, and so were the president's right-wing critics, the what he says the MAGA wing, which he's the head of, say that, well, you know, they always say they were close to enrichment, but they weren't. But IAEA just sanctioned them for the first time in 20 years, saying they've gone flying past the threshold. And for those people who think, well, if the president didn't tear up the deal, they wouldn't have a nuclear program. The deal would have expired. It only lasted 10 years, and those were during the Obama years.
So if you're just waking up, the president left the G7 summit, and he was asked about the ceasefire. And he said Macron is saying, you heard these reports, Macron is saying that President Trump's leaving early to go handle a ceasefire with the two countries. And the president said no.
I don't think there's going to be a ceasefire. I'm going to be honest. I think that it's beyond that. I do. I think that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
He is wrong. That's not what's happening. Then the president is calling a meeting with his with the National Security Council. So what does that tell us? He's wrong. We're not working on a ceasefire. We gave them a shot. We gave them 60 days. Now on day 61, you saw what happened. So it sounds like ceasefire options off the table, unless for some reason maybe Iran comes back, because Pete Hegseth kind of alluded to that we would be willing to sit down and talk. So maybe if they're smart enough to come and do this. But many people have said Iran is so ambitious with nuclear weapons, and they're so arrogant, the Ayatollah and the regime, that they probably won't even do that. They're willing to sacrifice.
Well, I think they're afraid. Honestly, they're afraid because if they don't have those weapons, they realize that those weapons are leverage. And so if they don't have those weapons, they don't have leverage. So they want to get those weapons as soon as they possibly can. Obviously.
Own people so that Israel doesn't get their hands on nuclear weapons or destroy their nuclear weapons. They can always rebuild as long as they have the ability to enrich.
All I know is the Grand Ayatollah's got to get a new contact list, because many of the people who are his favorite, rapid dial are dead.
Right.
So I don't know who's going to be there to rescue the regime.
And the people are not in favor of the regime, the majority of the people there.
They don't like it.
And many of them are leaving Tehran. You saw leaving in droves.
CBS reports says Trump's considering attacking Iran.
What does that tell you, too? What's about to happen?
If there are demonstrations in the streets, Do the cops break it up?
That's right.
Or do the cops disappear?
I'm Steve Ducey.
I think the cops break it up. Or sorry, I think they're going to disappear because at this point it seems pretty obvious that, I mean, they just have such overwhelming firepower. I mean, they're bombing these guys. They're literally killing them a day after they come up, after they get appointed, like within less than a week. I mean, yeah, I mean, I would definitely. Yeah, they control the airspace. Yeah, exactly. Like there's nothing there's nothing that they can do, I feel like. I think it's totally over for them. Anyway, let's look at this.
Welcome back. You're looking at live pictures of the Jerusalem night sky. All quiet at the moment, but we are standing by. Have a full team on the ground there to bring us news as it happens for you.
Yeah, the IDF is briefing right now. Effie Defrin is the person who's briefing. We were used to seeing Daniel Hagari when it came to Gaza and things in Lebanon. This is a different briefer. It's in Hebrew right now. We do not have a translation. But when we've got English now, let's go to Effie Defrin here, the IDF.
Hitting Iran's nuclear, ballistic, and command capabilities. The Iranian regime has spent years getting closer to a nuclear weapon. They have spent billions building a ballistic missile program. Our mission is clear: to remove the threat at its source.
AI, everything's
Last night,
AI.
the IDF eliminated.
Iran isn't even a real place. You're just getting you're literally getting manipulated by this is Jewish lizard propaganda.
Ali Shamadani, the regime's wartime chief of general staff. Shamadani held the role for only 4 days before meeting the same fate as his predecessor. This mission was based on real-time and emerging intelligence. We have delivered significant blows to the Iranian regime, and as such, they have been pushed back into central Iran. They are now focusing their efforts on conducting missile fire from the area of Isfahan. We are aiming at military targets. They are attacking civilian homes. The IDF will continue to operate with precision, strength, and resolve to ensure the safety of the people of Israel.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, like, you know, I'm an America first kind of guy. I don't give a fuck really about, like, I mean, Israel, like, oh, they're defending themselves. Yeah, sure. But, like, you've killed way more civilians than Iran has. And yeah, that's because Iran doesn't have the Iron Dome. And if every missile that Iran shot at Israel had hit, yeah, they probably would have killed way more civilians than Israel did. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really on their side either. That's how I see it.
Faces threats on many fronts.
Numbers don't matter.
While we are working to remove threats from Iran.
Of course they matter. If you're looking, the effective impact of your behavior, of course, matters.
Iran, we are still fighting their proxy, Hamas, in Gaza, who is still holding 53 of our hostages in brutal conditions. We will not rest until they are returned home. Thank you very much.
They're going to go back.
There's Effie Defrin with the IDF briefing saying that right now the Iranians are concentrating their ballistic missile fire on Israel from Isfahan, which is a city where there have been a number of strikes by the Israeli Air Force to try to take out those missile launchers. They were saying earlier today that they've taken out, I believe it was 25 or to 30% of those missile launchers. So that really does degrade Iran's capability of launching those big, powerful missiles toward Israel. And every day, it seems, they're able to fire fewer of those than they were the day before.
And we've been widely airing satellite images that...
They've been limp-dicking it for the past 2 days. They have. Like, that's it.
Our newsroom obtained yesterday and today that show before and after images of Iran's three main missile facilities inside the country. Severe damage to all three of them, as well as Natanz, the infamous nuclear weapons facility there on the ground. So these capabilities, super important to degrading Iranians, not just their nuclear capability, but their military might and the threat they pose to the rest of the world.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch
Trump's
our hottest interviews and most compelling...
You think he went crazy? I mean, I don't know if he did or not. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Do you think Iran doesn't have the firepower? Why aren't they sending everything they have? Why the limp-dicking? I don't know. And that's the honest question. I legitimately do not know the answer to that. And yeah. Well, I want to talk about this because like this is weird. People have tried to pretend that they don't like technology now. I don't know. I think it's odd. We'll see what it says.
Technology. It makes our lives easier so we could focus on the good things in life, like recreationally using technology. Up until the past decade or so, technology was exciting. It was solving all these problems we face and making life more enjoyable, all while looking sick as fuck. Somewhere in the 2010s, though, it started to create more problems than it solved. It was distracting drivers, causing addictions and mental illness, stealing jobs, and it just stopped looking cool as fuck. We went from being hyped over every new advancement to...
I think this is a boomer take. I do. I think this is kind of a boomer take because there's a lot of pieces of technology now that I really like. Who said technology's bad? Who decided this? I think technology's great. I love technology. I mean, I can see what he's saying, but I think that the reason why people have come to hate technology is because they don't have self-control. They can't regulate their time. They can't regulate their emotions. They go on social media and they get themselves mad. Like, I mean, really, whose fault is that?
Indifferent, if not a little resentful and maybe scared. Today I'm going to go over how fun and exciting technology used to be, how our perception of it has shifted to kind of hate it, and why this is all happening. Let me take you back to when technology was still fun. I'm not going to say this is the best era, but this is kind of right before people started to just fucking hate it.
Or like
Yet things coming out like the iPod. Holy shit. I can listen to Beyonce, Hot Shell Ray, and pirate fighting sounds without the cumbersome tapes and CDs of the past. There were new computers dropping left and right.
Well, the reason why the iPod was so good is because before we had iPods, we had CDs. We had CD players. And even the really good CD players would skip. They would, obviously, CDs deteriorated over time, and you could only have one CD in at a time. So if you wanted to listen to a bunch of different music, you couldn't do that, really. And so that's the reason why. It's because the iPod solved a new problem that the existing technology didn't solve. And I think a lot of people's frustration with technology nowadays also is the fact that it creates problems to solve for itself, or it solves problems that don't exist.
What do I want to buy? Maybe the computer with the big ass booty? I don't even know if I can handle all that ass.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go with the laptop with the red hot nipple in the middle. Quick side note,
one of those.
A friend once told me that their nipples get darker the angrier they get. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know.
If that's even relevant here, but I can't be the only one carrying the burden of knowing that. On second thought, this is kind of triggering. I think I'm just going to go with the Dell.
Oh.
This is the 2000s, not Toontown. You still had safe options like the Dell. If you were interested in safe options, though, gaming was just not for you in the 2000s. Not only was it really edgy for some reason, but every console was revolutionary. Oh my god, the new PlayStation and Xbox consoles have high-resolution buff dudes and bodacious babes.
I think that's true, that old consoles made way bigger leaps than consoles do now. Like nowadays you have consoles that come out and it's basically the same thing. The last console that I think really made a big difference was the Nintendo Switch. And then the last one that had technology that was valuable was the PS3 because it came with a Blu-ray player. Other than that, yeah, a lot of the stuff didn't really matter.
And if you're not into that, you could just whack off with the Wii.
Yeah.
Whack the tennis racket. Like console launches and even game launches were national events. I'm pretty sure businesses closed on the day Halo 3 came out. I mean, people camped out for this game. I don't think people even drove to the store for Halo Infinite. You know what?
Well, no, because nobody played it. But there are people, like, for example, whenever I went to the Nintendo Switch 2, like a fucking midnight release, there was like maybe 30 people there or so. And they were giving them out before midnight. And so we just went in there and got one. That was it, and left. And so, it does happen because you download it. Yeah. And like, I remember, I think it was Cataclysm that like me, Cody, and Jeff and my mom all went, and we went to the pre-expansion release of Cataclysm. It might have been Mists of Pandaria, but I think it was Cata. And I remember our friend Austin downloaded it remotely on his computer, right? Because that was the first digital download. And I remember we called them the F word constantly because he didn't go with us, right? We were so mad. We were like, bro, like, how do you just download it on your PC? No, you've got to go to the midnight release at GameStop with us. What do you mean, right? We were so mad at him. And I thought Wrath was. Well, I think that the Cato was the first time that we did it. And we were so annoyed. And and those events were so much fun. They were. And I think now people just digital download. But for physical releases, like for example, we got the SNES Mini, my friend Eric and I, and like we got there at like 7:30 in the morning to buy one. And I swear to God, every single other person there was 32 years old. Literally every single one. It was all a bunch of fucking 90s to 1988 to 1992 year old men. Half of them had their wife in the car that's like sitting there waiting, and you know, they're walking out. You know, that was it, right? And look at you now. Yeah, that was a while ago. And that's it. Was born in 88. Yeah, and so you still have this, but with software, it's different than hardware.
People camped out for literally everything in the 2000s. What was up with that? Huh. Captain Crunch is releasing an all berries variety?
Oh.
Someone get my camping tent. Probably the biggest camping event was For a Phone, which is where we got hit the hardest in this downfall of technology. Yeah. Buying a phone was like buying a car. You had to weigh the pros and cons of every model and really picture what your life was going to be like.
Well, they were so different, right? I mean, you had a Nokia phone that was like this. You had Blackberries that were like that. You had the Motorola Razr. You had flip phones. You had like all like there was a lot of variation. Where like nowadays you have, there's the only variation is that some phones you can flip, right? Like Emmy has that phone that like is a Game Boy Advance basically. But other than that, or Game Boy SP, yeah, Game Boy Advance SP, where like you can like flip it back and forth, but that was it. Yeah, that's literally it. Other than that, there's no other customization that you have.
So this one has a built-in MP3 player, high-speed 3G service, and a sliding keyboard.
Oh,
and
that's
this one's
big.
blue.
That's real big. Wow.
Let me just go with the blue one, please. You got different phones coming out with cool new features, unique shapes.
Well, yeah. I mean, like we had these.
Varying sizes and keyboards that deployed in ways you never even could have imagined. There was genuinely something for everyone. Nokia, Razr, Sidekick, Pearphone, BlackBerry, and the iPhone were so novel and, more importantly, so diverse. They were worth camping out for. Kind of, not really. Today you just buy them online or go to the Apple store. Nowadays you walk into an AT&T store trying to buy a phone looking like this. They're just like, what the fuck? You look good for 65. How can I help you, sir? This concept of having something for everyone extended to the internet as well. Hey, check it out. We don't need cable when we could just watch homoerotic content on this YouTube thing. Finally, another outlet for me to show off my shit music taste. Wow, I really wish I could see my favorite celebrities share shitty one-liners and or racist hot takes.
Yep, there you go.
Awesome. I hope this doesn't turn into a schizo battlefield of who could be the most offensive or offended. You're telling me I could sign up to see what my old high school buddies are up to, or if I'm only 9 years old, I could sign up to just play games?
Be retarded.
I love Facebook.
Yep, there you go.
I hope this doesn't turn into a geriatric battlefield arguing whether or not this video of Michael Jackson as Superman is real.
Wait, oh my God, is that really him?
There were always new websites cropping up, so all furries had to do was wait just one more second.
He's alive.
And there you go. There's a new website for you guys. Don't don't do anything weird on there. Although it was
Yeah, you
kind of
don't want to do that.
had to do is wait just one more second.
He's alive.
And there you go. There's a new website for you guys. Don't do anything weird on there. Although it was kind
you don't want to do that. And no, and that's always how it's been. But those websites are still around now. Like DeviantArt is still around. People still use DeviantArt.
of annoying. There was something fun about all websites looking different and getting redesigns every few years. A few years ago, I got this book from a used bookstore, and it just has a bunch of old Flash websites, and it is fucking sick. It is genuinely sad what happened to the design of websites.
I think that everybody thinks this is true until they have to use one of these websites, and then it's annoying and hard to understand. But I do think that having some flair to the website, so like, here's a really good parallel. How cool was it, the UI for like Expedition 33 as a game, or for Metaphor ReFantazio? The UI was, it was its own type of art by itself. And so I'm not completely out on this idea, but I think that things have become more uniform because that's what makes more sense for more people.
Regularly browse the Pokemon website as a kid, and you know when a new redesign dropped, my little ass was popping champagne.
Oh.
Or I guess it was just apple cider. At the time, it seemed like technology was always advancing and getting better. You can see how positively we thought about it with the obsessive use of Fruitiger Arrow. This is officially a YouTube video because I said the word Fruitiger Arrow. Technology looked futuristic yet clean, and we thought it was going to integrate with our natural world. And butterflies were going to be flying through bubbles and neon green pastures. So yeah, it didn't really integrate with our natural world. It kind of did the opposite, but I'm getting ahead
the natural world integrated with technology instead.
Of myself. Actually, I already got ahead of myself, and it just arrived today. All right, going back to where I was, people were excited for what was to come. They had time to breathe between new innovations and enjoy the new product they just bought. New products also warranted being released. They would usually serve a purpose, you know, fix a problem, like tech products.
This is another issue right here, is that the iPhone, the new iPhone will probably do the same thing that the old iPhone did. And the new Samsung phone will probably do the same thing that the old Samsung phone did. But it will have slightly better audio or slightly better video. But 5% faster, exactly. And so you're really just buying like, after the iPhone came out, all people have been doing since iPhones is buying the new iPhone. This is basically an iPhone.
Are supposed to do. If a new iteration of a product came out, it was different enough to justify buying it. Like, yeah, the GameCube could really use a controller that you could whack off. Now, compare all these generalizations to today. None of them are true anymore. Now, before we dive in, I don't mean for this to just be an old good, new bad, because looking at modern technology...
Well, yeah, a lot of these things are pretty cool.
That's just not the case. We have incredible technology today. This is more about how our perception of it has changed and how technology is advancing in a less than desirable direction. Also,
I think technology is great. I'm not a big agreeer with this. I think that the problem is that companies just keep wanting to get paychecks for releasing the same product over and over. And that's not really a problem with technology. That's more a problem with that company.
This is not just a boomer thing or just a zoomer thing. Most people across all ages are starting to admit, yeah, we got a bit of a problem here. For example, think of how people reacted to when something as simple as FaceTime released. I could pick up my phone at any time from anywhere and video call whoever I wanted, and it didn't look like 2 pixels. It was genuinely mind-blowing. You know what? My friend had buffalo wings from Chuck E. Cheese the other day.
Well, it was mind-blowing. Like, my dad would talk about this. Like, back in the day, like, you know, 3,000 years ago, whenever he was a kid, they had a party line. Which means that, like, whenever he was a kid, they had a party line. Which means that, like, each home in the area didn't have an actual unique dedicated phone line. And so if you picked up the phone, there was a chance that somebody else would actually pick up the phone instead, or somebody else would be on the phone at the same time, and it was like your neighbor. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, exactly. Our grandparents said that. Yeah, exactly. So, like, I think this is something that's happened in waves over time.
Okay, so I'm gonna give him a quick call and see how he's doing. Hey, buddy, how's your stool?
You gotta help me, man. There's so much blood.
All right. Now compare that reaction to when I say these 2 letters, AI, or these 3 letters, NFT, or these 4 letters, SPUM. This shit is in the...
I think AI has value. NFT doesn't have any value. People use AI all the time now. Like, everybody likes to complain about AI, but I see people constantly using AI.
The news every week.
I don't know what's
and we're tired of hearing about the news every week.
I don't know what's
and we're tired of hearing about it. AI is more concerning because at least with NFTs, it was just kind of like an idiot pastime. You didn't have to worry about it affecting your everyday life, and it just kind of died out on its own after a few months. Who knew that a poorly animated eyesore of an ugly ass, shitty ass...
Isn't it crazy how right I was about that guy getting his NFT stolen was the end of NFTs? I somewhere inside of me, I just knew, like, this is the beginning of the end.
Cartoon
Seth Green
wasn't gonna save these
That's
things.
the guy.
Could you have predicted that? Can we call in That's So Raven and ask if she could have predicted that this ugly ass shitty cartoon was not going to save the world of scamming that is NFTs? AI and automation advancements are not as fun as advancements in keyboard deployment technology or video game graphics. Like, we kind of have to be...
I think that people really like the ability, like, if you look at the Studio Ghibli filter thing and how popular that was, I think that you can see that people still do revel and enjoy new technological leaps and technological innovation. And I think that's probably the most recent example that I could talk about that would be an indicator of people still enjoying new technology. And then you even have now, you've got the Google VEO3, which is the Google video editor. That also is really, really popular. People love that. But would you pay for a Studio Ghibli filter? Well, people pay for ChatGPT or they pay for some form of AI subscription that uses that as a function. Yeah, they do. It's actually very common. That's why these companies are raising billions of dollars of capital. Yeah, I mean, sure. Darth Vader. Yeah, remember Darth Vader in Fortnite? People love that.
Concerned with the outcome of the former. And this is kind of how we feel about everything in tech now. Hesitant and exhausted. Everything was becoming more convenient and solving all these little annoyances of everyday life.
Yeah.
But now we've regressed. You try to order food or even just look at the menu of a restaurant before you go, and it wants you to sign up, or it's going to throw you into the app store to download their app. You want to...
Okay, that's a good point. This is the first one I totally agree with. Having to set up an account or having to make another profile in order to use a piece of hardware that you've already paid your money for. Like, why do you not have just a localized piece of software that you can just install onto the PC that automatically detects that you are using this piece of hardware? Like a game launcher, like anytime that there's a game launcher for a game launcher, like I have to go to Steam and then I use Steam to open up another game. Oh, bro, fuck you. No, man, that's too much.
Take the train? You got to download an app. You want to take the bus in the same city? You got to download a different app. You want to check into the emergency...
And another one that's really annoying is, like, have you ever been to a restaurant? Like, I'm in Austin, Texas, and so we've got a lot of these, like, kind of hippie restaurants and shit like this, is that you have a restaurant and they don't even have menus. You just have to scan a QR code in order to read the menu. Yeah, scan the menu. I don't like digital menus. I'm an old man now. Digital menus are too much. Yep, that's the bridge too far. My dad and I, we went to a place like that. I forgot, it was like some Mexican restaurant. And like, we thought it was going to be a nice place you could sit down. Yeah, scan the menu. I don't like digital menus. I'm an old man now. Digital menus are too much. Yep, that's the bridge too far. My dad and I, we went to a place like that. I forgot, it was like some Mexican restaurant. And like, we thought it was going to be a nice place you could sit down. Bro, everybody there was like fucking 21, drinking and screaming and yelling. And like, I came out there and like, we're like, well, where's the fucking menu? And they're like, scan it on your phone. And like, my dad doesn't, especially then, did not know how to even use a smartphone. And he was like, okay, let's just go to Cracker Barrel. Like, yeah, that was it. It's like, yeah, we gotta go.
Emergency room. Because you have the sword of a Sengoku period ninja in your chest.
Sir, can you scan the QR code to check in through the app?
I don't have the app. I just have a sword in my chest. Can I do like a paper form or something?
Yeah.
Sir, can you scan the other QR code to download the app?
Then you got social media, which is just like f***ing horrible now. Look at these statistics. And these ones too.
What's this here?
F***ing horrible now. Look at these statistics.
Teen and young adults in-person social engagement with friends, annual daily average in minutes. That's bad. Wow. I mean, yeah, I would. I could see that for sure. And that doesn't even count COVID. Yeah, keep that in mind.
And these ones too.
Okay,
what about these ones? I think I'm
my top songs.
Putting up bad statistics, I hope. What started off as a fun way to connect has turned into...
it's pre-COVID.
I don't even know what to describe this as. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on with Instagram captions. Like, it's sassy, but you're also in the third person because you're the main character in slang. And it's not just a girly thing. I'm not going to just dog on the girls out there.
Fuck?
Us guys do this shit too. We got default captions and poses too. You got to work the boys into every caption and then throw up a 4 when you're posing with said boys. Hey, getting my colonoscopy with the boys. Picking up.
Is this true? I haven't noticed this. I don't think I follow any men on Instagram.
Lost from the store with my boys. Just went fishing. And then drunk drove and hit a family of 4.
Or do I? Yeah, I don't know why I would.
Then you got Snapchat, which I just had to delete because what the fuck am I going to do with Snapchat? When you're no longer in high school and taking pictures of random people in class and drawing a wiener over them, there's really no point to this app. Plus, the Discovery tab is concerning. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I have not. I don't even have Snapchat on my phone. I've never installed Snapchat on my phone. Like, I used to have Snapchat, and I would use it sometimes, but I just don't really give a shit.
I keep ranting about social media, so I'm just going to leave off with these last two things. First of all,
I think it's also, like, Snapchat's mainly for younger, like, it's mainly for, like, young adults and teenagers. And so, like, as you get older, I mean, you know, you're just not going to use it the same way anymore. 25 plus should have Snapchat? Yeah, exactly, right?
everything has a TikTok feature. Instagram has one.
Drug dealers using Snapchat? If you're a drug dealer, you should use Telegram. You're just an idiot if you're using Snapchat. Yeah, I mean, what dumbass is doing that?
Snapchat has one. YouTube has one. The fucking Guitar Tabs app has one. I'm trying to learn Love Bug by the Jonas Brothers. Why do I need to see a 12-year-old ripping their vocal cords to sing Alicia Keys? Second, if you're tired of all these apps becoming so fucking bloated that you don't even remember what their original purpose was, you can download all these BS real social media apps that all your friends are just going to stop using.
Oh, that one died immediately. I remember that. That's a good idea, but for some reason, normies refuse to download it. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know the inner workings of, like, how selling drugs works now. Like, I have no idea. But, I mean, if you're not buying and selling with either a prepaid or through Telegram or Signal, you're like, anything that you do, like, I mean, if you're selling weed, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're never really going to get in trouble for that. But if you're doing anything else besides that and you're not using one of or all three of those things, you're just a retard and you deserve to go to jail. Like, I'm sorry, you're just a fucking idiot. Like, at a certain point, like, isn't this natural selection?
For 3 days. Like, I'm pretty sure I still have a friend actively posting to Be Real, just into the void.
What?
I have been fucking with Locket, though. That one's kind of cool. It puts pictures of my friends on my home screen. Social media lost the plot so long ago. They don't each have their niche anymore. They want to incorporate features from all the other apps so they could be the catch-all app. But I
think that's actually a really good point. Is it all social? So every social media app tried to be the everything app. Every social media app has a live streaming function now. Every single one has a doom scrolling 10-second video function. Every single one has a long form video function or a short message function. That's a good point.
End up being bland. Like, why would I choose Instagram over Snapchat or Google Plus, the best social media platform to exist? And this is the big killer here, the homogenization of everything. I already mentioned every app having a TikTok feature, but we also have a story feature on every app.
Yep. Even Twitch has a story feature.
And staying on the topic of homogenization,
but Twitch does not need a story feature at all. Total fucking bloat.
Go back to phones. I'm just gonna show you phones from like 20 years ago and then phones from today. Dude, that sucks. These are all just iPhones. It's the same with cars, tablets, and laptops, where everyone wants to copy the style of Tesla and Apple.
It's because it works. That's the reason why it's the best style. Yeah. It's the best style. It's the best function. Like, the ones with, like, the keyboards had their own problems. The ones that would flip open would have their own problems. There's a reason why everybody uses this. The same one. Yeah, phones are huge today. Yeah, exactly.
Respectively. Not only has tech gotten so homogenized, but it's gotten very invasive too. And I don't mean in like a toddler coughing in your face kind of way. I mean in a rash kind of way, where it's always there reminding you,
hey, I'm here. You want to play with me?
That's what a rash sounds like. It sounds like Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Whoa. Pikachu.
Oh, wow.
Click my link tree in the bio to check out my SoundCloud.
I don't know if
usually link trees don't go to SoundClouds.
Should keep these impressions in the videos. I don't know why I'd never choose to cut them out. We reached a point where technology was seamless and solved real problems. And past it, where now technology is inconvenient. You used to get in your car and you had your music, AC, and all your little car features easily accessible because you're hurling a 1,000-pound vehicle at 65 miles miles an hour.
Yeah.
You got to be able to access these everyday things quickly and easily. Then we passed that point. Now everything is behind 3 menus on a touch screen that you have to look at.
Turning off the AC in a new car? I don't have any of these problems, and I have a 2025 car. Like, there's just a button and it goes from 1 to 7. Yeah, I mean, like, we did have, so like I rented an Audi, and I remember the shifter for the Audi was like it was like a light switch, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, because I'm used to like having the shifter, right? I mean, you're gonna go up and down, and I don't do stick shift, right? I'm just talking about the automatic shifter, and like even that was weird. Everything's computer. Yeah, and well, mine, like pretty much everything is computer, but I think it's fine. But yeah, some of them are bad. Some of these here, some cars you do have to use the dashboard screen to do that kind of stuff. That's so stupid. Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky that I don't have a car like that at all.
And pray that you don't hit 2 kids and a dog while using. Home phones let you call your friends and plan ahead or catch up. You can leave a message if they're not home, and it wasn't the end of the world if they didn't answer for a little while. Cell phones helped bridge that lost connection when you're out on the town and you can't.
Well, I hated that. Like I hated whenever people would do that. I love the ability for people to text me, because then I just don't respond, or I respond back in like a week, and I'm like, oh yeah, my bad. And like, yeah, I'll get back to them whenever I get back to them. That's it. Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel.
On each other, or you're just not home, or there's an emergency. You saw a ninja slinking around your house.
Ooh.
Now we're way past that point of feeling a genuine
Phone
need.
etiquette is
There is
needed,
no reason I should be able to receive work emails when I'm going out after 5 p.m. And there's no reason I should be able to post a picture of the sunset with the caption, golden hour with my golden girlies.
Ugh.
There's no reason for any of this. It's just noise. And you can just say, oh, just quit your phone, but people freak the f out if you don't respond for a few hours.
You have to train them. See, for me, it's normal for me to take 2 to 3 weeks to respond to a text message. That's just the way it is. Just how it is. You might not like it. Might be annoying, and I'll get back to you in like a month. But yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I'm down to hang out. This message was received, what is this, May 1st? Yeah, no, for sure, dude. Yeah, and like, yeah, the 36-day rule. You suck, I know. But like, for me, I don't know. I do my stream, I'm busy, I'm tired. And then, like, by the time I think about, okay, maybe I should socialize, it's like 1 in the morning. I'm like, geez, they're probably asleep by now. I'm not going to text them. And then it's the next day, and then the same thing happens again.
It's out of the norm now. You can't just ditch technology, especially with the way it's so integrated with our everyday lives. Some people can't get around their city or do their job without having a smartphone. Technology.
I'm one of those people. I don't know how to drive anywhere. Like, before we had MapQuest, I would get lost. And when I did have MapQuest, I would still get lost. And I stopped getting lost whenever I had GPS. That was it. And also, here's the best part. I still get lost.
It used to be exciting and helpful. It solved problems we all faced in our everyday lives. But with the way it's so homogenized now, it's starting to create more problems than it's solving. There's no more of that something for everyone. Everything's got to be one size fits all now. Every phone is an iPhone. Every car is a crossover SUV. Every console is basically the same,
Fortnite.
Except for Nintendo. They're just the same as themselves.
It's the same as the other one, the other Nintendo, yes.
And I don't want to hear anyone saying, hey, bro, I think you're just depressed. That's why nothing's exciting anymore. Yeah, I'm depressed. My big ass thumbs can't type on this stupid touchscreen keyboard, and there are no phones with physical keyboards anymore. I'm depressed. I can't flex on my friends with a sick new phone. What am I gonna pull up with the iPhone 16 and be like, hey, bro, hey, this phone is like all your phones, but I can combine emojis. I'm not going to say technology peaked and we should just stop making new technology, because I don't think that's true. But we passed the point where it was all so exciting because it was genuinely useful.
I think it's because people were young and it was new and you were making bigger gaps and bigger jumps. It's the same as video game graphics. Like when the PS6 comes out, it's not going to be as crazy as the PS5 in terms of graphics. And when the PS4 came out, it wasn't as crazy of a jump than the PS3 was. Like the fact fact is that you are hitting a certain degree of, saturation. Like and like you're hitting diminishing returns. And the new technology, like the Google Glass or like the Apple Vision, is like $3,500. And the only thing you get out of it is looking like a retard. So yeah, it's definitely a lot different. The PS2 Go? Yeah, dude, the PS2 was a totally different universe.
Looked so fucking sick. It would be cool if it was possible to just ditch your phone and get a dumb phone, but I like having Spotify and Venmo and the Chipotle app so I can get a free bowl once every 7 years. All I really want is a cool looking phone with a physical keyboard, but until then, I'll just keep buying these cheap ass Google.
The one thing about this video that I 100% agree with is about the proliferation of apps. Like, I don't want to download the Domino's app. I just want to order Domino's. That's it. I don't want any bullshit or anything else to happen.
Pixels whenever my current one breaks. I really don't use this for anything other than phone calls, texting, and checking Facebook Marketplace for the weirdest shit I can ever find. Look at this shit I found the other day.
That's really cool. Holy shit. That's badass.
I'd say everything I talked about is worth it because I got to see this. Channel that subscribe button for videos about literally anything. Everything goes at this point. Comment what your favorite thing about old phones was, and thank you for watching.
Boomer needs a jitterbug. Yeah, I feel like technology back in the day was like, it was solving more problems. Whereas like, I mean, I think a tablet is a great example of this. Like, I have a tablet. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. It's on the floor somewhere over there. And I bought it, and I hardly use it because a tablet is basically just a PC. Like, it's basic. Like, what am I doing with the tablet that I'm not already doing with my phone or PC? And so you just have all, like, there's nothing. It's a big phone. Yeah, exactly. And so what's going on with this at all? It's a worse PC? Yeah, but you already have a laptop for that. And like, laptops are better than tablets. Tablets, the only function that tablets really have is that if you work in sales or any form of business presentation, tablets do a tremendously good job at being able to communicate something to a client or a person you're trying to sell to in a way that is professional, clean, technologically advanced, and just useful, right? It looks professional. So like if you're at a, like you have a dealership, you're trying to sell a product or whatever, like I think a tablet is like your S-tier device. But that's like it's such an, like how many people are really doing this, right? It's very unlikely. It's mostly for kids. Yeah, I guess so. Reading in bed. I just read on my phone. Am I weird? I think that maybe I am. But yeah, overall, I think technology nowadays, I love technology. I love using technology. I'll link you guys the video. Give it a like. And yeah, it's a great, I think it's a great analysis, especially with like the phone thing about how every phone is an iPhone. And yeah, sure, I think it's definitely true, but you're going to see more and more people that I think bring this up and are frustrated with it. But also, I think people become like kind of exhausted or fatigued from technology because technology is just repeating the same stuff over and over and over. It's not like there's anything new or special or different going on at all. And I think that's what's really kind of alienating people more than anything else. Brain images to digital? Yeah, sure. But right now, it's just, I feel like in the last like 5 years, we've pretty much had the same exact technology, just repeated over and over. Yeah, I can understand that as well. Yeah, exactly. Exponential growth that we had has stopped. Well, the exponential growth, well, the problem is that even if you experience exponential growth, like let's say you go from 8K resolution to 16K resolution, the difference between the two is not going to be as big as the difference between the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64. That's the problem, is that you're hitting a diminishing return because the perceptual reality that a human can live in has a ceiling as well. So we're already hitting that ceiling in general. Like 1080p is great. 1440 is even better. 4K is amazing. But like when I'm at 1440 and I move from that to 4K, I'm not seeing the big difference that I saw whenever I moved from 1080p to 1440. Right? And do you see what I'm saying, right? Like you're hitting diminishing returns over and over. And yeah, I'm at 1440 right now myself. I don't need any more than that. And I feel like 4K doesn't have that big of a value. So until we get, you know, Sword Art Online and Neuralink, we're going to be at an impasse with technology, and I can't wait to see that happen. This is a good video, man. And I've never watched one of his videos before, one of these videos, but I did like it. And IRL streaming in your front yard, yeah, we'll see what happens. Virtual reality, yes, clearly. Sounds like a boomers, man. The boomers say that about 60 FPS. You can't tell if the difference is higher. Well, I think it's just, it's a reality. Like, I mean, you can look at what photographic quality is, and then you can compare that, and then you can look at what the difference between the two things are. And, like, yes, obviously, image resolution has diminishing returns after probably, you know, like 1440 2K resolution. It has a diminishing return. And it gets worse every time, right? Yeah, I need 1440. And also, the human eye, like the difference, for example, a 500 hertz monitor. I'm assuming the human eye can probably see at about 300 to 400 frames per second. Maybe 200, somewhere around there. Probably between 200 to 400 based off of the genetics. Oh, is it 1,000? I think it's over 1,000. Really? That's crazy. It's like 140? Yeah, I don't know. But like, and CRTs were about like 700 FPS, right? Something like that. Not in my eyes. Yeah, I'm at about 35 FPS or so. And yeah, something like that. Infinite FPS? Well, I don't. Well, it's which can be perceived as higher, right? And I think that's really what I'm discussing more than anything. But yeah. And anyway, Grok, yeah, sure. But I'm going to go and take a break today and chill out. Anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you then. All right, boys. Peace. See ya.
Watch the Rev video? Rev video? Who's Rev? Why do I not know who Rev is? Okay, let's watch this video. I'm curious. I haven't really watched this guy's content. Who added me?
Attention gamers. The beautiful thing about how League of Legends has evolved over the years with its hundreds of champions is that different champions.
The problem is that your team doesn't understand their win condition, and my team does, that's all, bro. Yeah, legit. But my support and jungle were legit AFK though.
Can
like,
be the
they were
master
actually
of
just not
certain
doing
things.
anything.
There's some champs that are designed to be tanks and be able to survive while taking a lot of hits. Then there's assassin type champs that are designed to hunt down and burst back line carries. There's the champs that are meant for quickly taking down objectives and towers.
YouTube chat, YouTube chat, you can't hear it, sorry, because I don't want to get copyrighted, but here's the video. It's actually already a really good intro though.
There's the support type of champs that excel at healing up champs quickly. It's a great game because no one champ can do all these things.
I'm the business deal with locks in their base.
Today we are talking about the man, the myth, the lunatic Eloise that paints himself blue as a part of his mission to prove that Mundo MD is more broken than Elon and Donnie J's relationship by playing Moon and making dat dough on a fresh account all the way to Challenger. So as a student of the sport, I'm here to learn this complex strategy that can be broken down to by studying what he does and then trying to apply it in my piss pit. Elo is an ADC main who has never drooled over the top lane with this 9-to-5 Frankenstein before, so friendly reminder to put that subscribe button and let's get into it. So he starts every game the same way.
Gwen Ben, please.
And I guess when you dress like you've climbed the ladder in corporate America, people just listen to you like
wait, I bet it myself. Oh, I bet it myself.
you're their boss, whereas when I tried this bullshit I got actual League of Legends players. But then the rest of champs tried this bullshit I got actual League of Legends players.
Funny as hell.
Whereas when I tried this bullshit I got actual League of Legends players. But then the rest of champs select is typically a celebration for it.
They're picking no percentage health damage. Enemy team come dog shit against my champion. We are winners queue. Enemy team did not select a good draft. You know what happens when you don't have a good draft against Mundo?
And you have to respect the confidence, and while he may have been listening to Benny Benassi loops all game, the first play sounded a bit more like Rihanna. But apparently this was a good death and I just wasn't thinking about it.
Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. No, actually think about it. Are you guys thought about it?
Hello, guys.
And I guess it's because he can just DoorDash express himself back to lane where he genocides the Red Robe Academy, commits a bit of statue vandalism while ignoring that dashing douche, and then continues to proxy.
Some would say good death.
And a normal level 5 would probably be satisfied with the one proxy, but this roided Wall Street banker lives by the motto push harder than last time, as if he watches Greg Doucette videos, and it turns out the sequel to fuck around is almost always find out, and that's just what he
Bro,
does.
the AI voice is catching me off guard.
That said, he comes back to lane and immediately welcomes a trade
Wait,
to anyone with
game.
functioning eyeballs.
I remember this game. This is the game where I go 0-4 and then Ultra 1v9 and I dive them. Yes.
Seems like total
okay, I already
shit, but
know.
he
He selected the
isn't
banger
worried.
game though. When I do W there, he selected an absolute banger of a game. Okay, chat, so
full-blown Shin impact on the jacked accountant, and even though he receives a gank, the desire to whip one last phone book at the ninja gets him
I remember what happened
killed.
to you.
To make matters worse, his jungler is about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. But it's all part of the plan for him to prove exactly why this is a broken champ.
Okay, I'm gonna win this game. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. I'm gonna win this game.
Sometimes, as a streamer, I need to think about my
Gwen ban, please. If no ban. Helps me out a lot. Smiley face. Remember to always ask.
think about my audience. Actually, when I think about my audience, I'm like, how did I make a gameplay relatable for them? So, I put myself in a conscious deficit where I started the game 0-3 to showcase you guys how you should push from the deficit.
So I'm thinking sure I will play along, considering this man literally spray painted his fucking face for this. He clearly must know best, but I do have to say I wasn't exactly convinced when he started the game with 4 bloody hemorrhoids and 4 ugly deaths.
Oh, this guy
just
wait. It will all make sense. It will all make sense. So don't worry, chat. Don't worry.
At this point, the enemy Shen is so fed you'd think he works for the FBI, as Blue Tits here continues to pick losing trades as if he has a fetish for them, but turns out he's baiting, as he's the master of bait.
Did he
The
call me
master
Blue Tits?
works for the FBI, as Blue Tits here continues to pick losing trades as if he has a fetish for them, but turns out he's baiting, as he's the master of bait, the masturbator, which ends up still turning into a butt clencher.
Spawn Daisy, we need extra Mannschaft. Oh! Oh!
This funds his first item, Warmogs, which immediately switches this to easy game mode for him, because any trade is basically a fat W when he practically has a Soraka shoved up his shithole from just one item, and this opens up opportunities to strategize.
Now we do one quick start step. We do a quick phone call to Shen's mom. We have to go back to full HP right now. I might as well press this too. Play them with one hand. Oh, another good trade here by Shen. Oh, Shen. How about playing with one hand? Just like I'm used to when playing with your mom. And now, in about a few seconds, I'll go back to full HP. Shen won't because I've warmed up.
So despite him getting shit on worse than the cup in that video with 2 girls, he still gets first tower and continues pushing harder than a small...
I'm telling you guys, whenever I watch my own content, whenever Taurus is like, oh, Alois, I did really well in this video, you should watch it. Bro, I'm doing a try not to cringe challenge sometimes.
Small child stuck inside a revolving door as I'm trying to imagine how strong a 1 in 4 ADC would be 13 minutes into the game while comparing it to the fact that half the enemy team is coming to try and stop him at this point.
Hey, nice one, MVP.
He's also attracting the attention of his own teammates now as that lanky anorexic Daisy distributor pays him a visit, which results in that steel-covered tiptoeing ninja getting shafted, and then the Greek gladiator that got sky-mailed into the fight ends up getting kited like a piece of colorful nylon on a windy day, all while some hulked-up accountant with poor circulation chases him down whipping textbooks at him. The Fox does arrive, but at this point Mundo is full extrovert and isn't going to shy away from any social interaction.
I was 0-4 and I have 2 items. Oh. I can't justify picking this into Atron.
20 minutes later.
Why didn't you just play AP Mundo? Because I wasn't dropped on my head when I was 5 years old. Continue to watch this video, it's a banger anyways.
He asks Ari to come down bot for a second because he wants to show off in front of her by doing a fourth of the tower's health in one hit.
My head when I was 5. Picking this into Atron.
20 minutes later.
Why didn't you just play AP Mundo? Because I wasn't dropped on my head when I was 5 years old. Continue to watch this video, it's a banger anyways.
He asks Ari to come down bot for a second because he wants to show off in front of her by doing a fourth of the tower's health in one headbutt, and then he continues pushing harder than someone who has developed a tolerance to Miralax. Once the troops arrive to play Mundo Balloon's tower defense, he can be seen mocking their measly attempts to bring him down, and while the camera doesn't show it, I can only assume his blue finger is just caressing his alt key as he baits them further and further in, waiting for the perfect time to hit a surprise and slap.
look at this T-pose. Don't laugh! I didn't see the spear coming from my ass cheeks, bro. So, 2 options here. We could move mid and play for third dragon, which would objectively be pretty correct. How? My goodness, Alois, you're such a sexy beast. First time message. Baku 1988, are you by any means a very hot Asian single mom? Probably not. Your name is Baku 1988. We're good. Weather. Not lucky. Hey, he stole my kill,
And
bro.
despite a train wreck of an early game, there is now a tangible top diff present.
This Shen, remember how he was 3-0? How is this guy still on one item and now about my fourth? It's my alt account. He didn't push, and I did.
He can now take towers and engage wild pantheons without fear, all while having severe ADHD in team fights.
Oh, I see backline. Oh, what's this? Oh, what happened to your preface? What happened to their preface? What happened to their backline? Oh, you know it's not you. Oh, barrier. Yeah, that was aggro. Problem?
But this top-heavy businessman with a humble upbringing of 4 deaths now has 5 levels on the bot lane with 7,000 health, 500 attack damage, and a built-in spell shield, which means Lux is now just there to provide him with more bucks that he can put in his briefcase.
Chat? Can I open my suitcase? That's one. Open up, you fucking bastard. Hey! I don't know how to fucking use a briefcase.
Now people run in fear at the mere sight.
Why did he have to edit this in, by the way? He saw this clip and is like, how do I include this in the video? Why, bro? Hey! I don't know how to fucking use a briefcase.
Now people run in fear at the mere sight of him, not because he looks like a slimy greased-up used car salesman, but because 4 enemies can play an entire game of Monopoly on his asshole, and then he can just push his ult and heal up all that damage in 5 seconds while subsequently being the first human to do more damage to a statue than it does to him with a headbutt. The game is essentially unwinnable for the enemy team, but he's doing a little bit of PvE to hit level cap when this
Look at this! Ezra makes a mistake here, though. Ezra makes a mistake here, look.
happens.
Oh, Ezreal, you are going to regret that decision, buddy. Chat, target locked. Look how I smack him against the wall, bro. Bitch. He like bounces off.
And I guess that shows how even feeding more than a nursing mom's titty in the early game doesn't matter with this champ.
You think you're safe in your base? Riot Games! Don't take a look at this.
In a world of stale ass league content, I became an instant fan of this blue man, so when he said this,
Okay, we gotta keep Mundo under the radar. Why did I just snort like a pig? Why did I just snort like a pig? So I need to feel people right now. Did I? Wait, I snorted. Like I snorted. I think. Okay, we gotta keep Mundo under the radar. Just. I actually snort. Why does he keep that clip? Why does he keep that clip in, bro? Fucking bastards, man. Right. Get off the keyboard. I can't focus, bro. Can't focus. Yeah, I'm sorry, Bogdan. There's no sound here. It's at 8:53. I don't want to get copyrighted. I can't listen to it because I don't want my YouTube stream to shut down. Everything on YouTube is copyrighted, bro. You get instant DMCA, burger flip combo on your channel. Boom. I'm sorry. That's the only thing I dislike. I guess we bang with ourselves. Oh. Okay. Why did I just snort like a pig? So I need to feel people right now to just play a few Mundo games. Just do like the little pushing thing, but make sure we lose. So that Mundo doesn't get instantly nerfed. Okay, deal?
I had to help him out. Once I totally fed on purpose to help him out the second game. I took more of a push mentality as I was against that prepubescent gerbil who had to be a bitch and whip his chewed up dog toy at me every time I got too close, and while this did take the color off on my screen once early, a few minutes later when he was dealing with some raging hormones, I stopped acting like the victim and realized mid-fight that I can go where I please and do what I want, and that's when everything changed as I would execute the macro gameplay inting strat to perfection. But soon enough I was learning the ways and remembering the lessons from the masturbator himself, and things were looking up. I popped my proxy cherry in this game, and when that fucking
Hey, Rev, you have Roarings before
Reddit
Giants
guinea
belt.
pig tried to stop me cherry in this game, and when that fucking
Hey, Rev, you have Roarings before
Reddit
Giants
guinea
belt.
pig tried to stop me, I would just go full-blown hungry
Giants
after
belt
in a
first.
Snickers commercial on him
This
until he
doesn't
pissed
work.
off.
He doesn't kill him. No.
I had the Mogs of War, which meant I could take trades with this ferret even when he was going through puberty, because I knew I would just heal back. Like an earthworm cut in half. While he was just a dead fucking insect, so I took his tower right in front of him, and then I proceeded to proxy more than a VPN. Knowing even if he called in backup like the little boomerang bitch he was, I could just ult and run out of there with Aston Hall speed.
This is Ashton Hall.
That smelly rodent knew he couldn't stay, so he had to peace out and let me piss on even more statues. When I did join in on my first team fight, I kind of just stood there and cleavered people, pushing ramp.
Okay, chat. If I get items this game, I will be the most racist champion that exists on the map. Okay? Nobody can kill me. But we have to get there. We're gonna do the exact same thing we did last game against Rumble.
Mass buttons in no particular order, thinking clearly anyone can do this, and the game was getting easier. I could now walk up to a tower and politely.
We're gonna continue watching this video after our game is done. Before that, we need to emotional release meditation. Actually, we do Seed of Growth this one. Sorry, this one remains the best. This one just simply remains the snack. What's a good snack? Oh, actually, let's finish watching
Ask
this
it where
first.
all its health went, and even though the game was close and the enemy team was getting global objectives, I stayed true to the strategy. I would attract large amounts of forces to try and stop me, only to bail myself out and then proceed to slap a fat frog by myself while my team gets absolutely
get the
shit
item,
on
by
in
the
the
way.
distance, but it's okay because there's only one thing I needed to do. I single-handedly took down all the towers and all the inhibitors while half their team would have to come to the rescue, so even though I died, I was single-handedly the person responsible for the screen at the end of this game not being red, but blue.
What a goated video. Actually, so well made. Amazing video. Push. Sorry. There you go. We comment this. Big. My own face here. Why do I give myself my own recommendation? That's go to 2.
We've covered a lot of scams on this channel, but in almost every video, I'm on the phone with a scammer. And I've never really shared all of the adventures we've had with texting scammers, emailing them, Facebook chats, Telegram. I mean, scammers are everywhere. And I mean everywhere. The team and I have had a lot of text-based conversations with scammers. I mean, some of my favorite videos on the channel actually started as just dozens of messages before they ever picked up a phone call. As much as I enjoy talking to these scammers in my free time, I will never have enough time. And that's where programmer brain sets in. There's a problem, Python must be able to solve it, and over the past handful of months, I've been working on a text-based bot, sorta like our phone call bots, to mess with all of these scammers on social media. I made a bunch of ridiculous profiles and have been trying to figure out the best way to troll scammers, collect their information, and make them angry.
I've been thinking a lot about this quantum AI thing, and I gotta say it's got me curious.
I mean, what isn't an automatic system that just makes you money? How does it know? Why did it do that? This is gigantic. It started off quite poorly, and the emails would just be full of nonsense or things would get mixed up. But a few weeks ago, I was done with the chickens and hanging out with the kids for the weekend. I sat down at my computer and saw this. Frick you. You will never die peacefully. The bot full of dread, scammer spamming knife emojis, and my heart filled with joy. I just enjoyed a nice day with the kids while hundreds of scammers had been trolled by my bots, and a few of them were very angry. I will never be your friend. You will die. Get the frick out of my DM now. That's always a good sign, so here's the story of how I've been training a bunch of bots to troll scammers online. But first, I want to thank Aura for sponsoring this video. For 2 years now, I've trusted Aura to help keep my family safe from things like identity theft. It seems like almost every week, there's another news article about a massive data breach in which some company exposes all of our data. 6 months ago, there was a massive breach in which basically every US citizen was involved. And no matter how careful you are, it seems almost inevitable that you and I are going to be exposed. Aura monitors your identity across the dark web and data breaches and alerts you if something suspicious happens. So if a scammer like Steve tries to use your information to open up a bank account, Aura's got your back. You can act quickly instead of finding out that your credit's ruined when you're applying for a loan trying to get your dream house. Try Aura for 21 days free at aura.com/Kipoga. You can get a credit report, find out if anything sketchy is going on, and see what else they have to offer. Here's a scammer who spams Facebook claiming to be able to use advanced technology to find people's lost dogs. It's kind of gross, taking advantage of someone's grief, and it seemed like it was a good opportunity for the bots to step in. I started by filling out a basic form and sending them a picture of my dog. I referenced the movie Up and told them that that was basically what happened. Of course, the scammers went along with it and said that my report had been registered. They sent me a visual representation of how they were going to find my dog and said I needed to pay. I have ADHD and forgot about this conversation, but the bot did not. So over the past few weeks, it's been chatting with them. At one point, the bot says, "I never found my dog," with a frowny face. Bot Edna starts off strong by simply asking, "Do you accept wires?" You gotta dangle the carrot in front, I guess. And the scammer replies, "How much? The $1,000? And a few minutes later, sends a bank account. This is going to be a recurring theme. The scammers are very desperate and happy to give banking details to the bots, which I can pass on to law enforcement and fraud professionals. So, huge win. Great job, bot. And after they sent that first account, we just keep chatting. I can't send to that bank. It doesn't really have a good excuse. And the scammer gets confused. You can't send to this one? Can you purchase a gift card? That would be convenient. It won't go through. Do you have another account? And the scammer sends another US-based compromised bank account. The bot just says, okay. And now, a third time, it won't let me send to this account. The scammer says, that means you probably don't know how to wire. Maybe you can use another method. Starts talking about Bitcoin, things like gift cards. And the bot says, what about Zelle? I'm serious. I want to find my dog. The scammer sends a Zelle account. The bot says, I'm sorry, I just can't get my Zelle to work. I've tried 4 times. The scammer asks, what do you want to do? I'm not sure. I miss my dog so much. You can buy a gift card. That would be really easy for you. It isn't that hard. It's been so long, and if you really miss your dog, buy a card so we can commence the search as soon as possible. Now, at this point, it's been days. The bot replies, I do miss my dog. He was the best boy. What do you think I should do? He says, buy a Razor Gold gift card, please. Gonna be honest, I don't know what that is. And the bot doesn't seem to either. Asks if the scammer has found its cat, Mittens. I guess the bot has no idea that I sent a photo of the dog in the beginning, but that doesn't deter the scammer from trying to steal money. To my surprise, the scammer sends 2 more compromised Zelle accounts. Eventually he starts to get upset, and when the bot says, can I have another Zelle account? The scammer says no and blocks bot Edna. Hello, Jason. Hi, Edna. How are you today? It's a pleasure having you on my official page. Are you the real Jason Momoa? I hope that's how you say his name. This is the real me. I know people say lots of things, and sometimes it's hard to know what's real, but I want you to know this. I'm not here to waste time, play games, or be someone I'm not. What you see is what you get. This is so ironic. A scammer talking to a bot. Oh, jeez. Can I ask you a question? Do you have WhatsApp? No. Do you have Zangi? No. This goes on for a while, and then the bot sets the hook. Do you have a fan club? I would love to join your fan club. This is a pretty classic way that the celebrity scams work. The scammer takes the bait and says, yes, I do. I do have a fan club. Oh, great. Where do I sign up? And what are the benefits? And just like that, copy pastes everything you need to know about the fake Jason Momoa fan club. The authorization card costs $3,000. It looks like you get event tickets, private meet and greets, digital only content. They're almost trying to sell it like super exclusive Patreon type stuff. The idea is if you're really a huge fan and you want to meet this celebrity, you gotta buy the pass. 10 minutes goes by because the bot's talking to other scammers. Jason asks, are you there? Yes, sorry, my cat was screaming. Can you tell me more about the fan club? The scammer can't possibly think of more benefits and just says, as I said, you're going to be enjoying those benefits. But when the bot doesn't reply, he doubles down and says, also, we're going to be going on vacations. Are you there? With 3 question marks this time? Yes, I'm here. Is there a fee? Where does the fan club money go towards? It goes towards funding new works and fan-centered projects. Oh, that sounds fun. How do I sign up? What's your payment method? PayPal, gift cards, Bitcoin? Some time goes by, so the question marks come out. Sorry, I was feeding my cat. Seems like you're busy. They go back and forth about prices, and then eventually Ed the bot demands a Zelle account. And the scammer delivers another account that we can send to the right people. I can try calling the bank. No, the scammer says. Probably because he's scared we're going to tell them we're talking to the real Jason Momoa and buying a fan club card. It still says I can't send money to that user. Is there a problem with my bank? Can you go to the store? What store? Walmart. And I don't want to go to the store. It's so cold outside. It's the middle of summer and the bot said it's in South Carolina. So this makes no sense, but the scammer persists. Do you have Chime? Can you do a wire transfer? Yes, I can do that. And the scammer sends a compromised account here in the US. Edna smiles. Okay, I'll call the bank first thing tomorrow. Why can't you do that now? The bank's closed. It's after 5. It is not after 5, by the way. The scammer just says, I hope you can get to the bank first thing tomorrow. Yep, me too. Will you still be my friend if it doesn't work? Foreshadowing is my favorite literary feature. And the scammer says, it's gonna work. And yeah, I'm your friend no matter what. I hope so. Thanks, Jason. Smiley face. It didn't work. obviously. Like 5 minutes pass, and the bot says it's now 6:15. Jason wonders, are you kidding me? No? Why? It's showing 14:03. Oh, is that military time? I don't know anything about that. What time is it there? It's now 6:24, apparently. I don't want to go out. It's cold, and I'm already in my pajamas. It's cold over there? Yes, it's very cold in Ohio. Apparently, we've teleported to Ohio. How are you feeling now? Are you there? Babe? Are you busy? Sad face? Are you asleep? Good morning, sweetheart. Text me when you're awake. I love you. The bot never went to the bank. Jason never got his money and lost access to his account. One of the bots talked to a fake Taylor Swift pretending to do a giveaway and said, I loved your music since the very beginning. The scammer demands that the bot pay $500, and you know the drill. Starts asking for Zelle and bank account information. The scammer gives a couple accounts, and then eventually the excuses start flowing. I really did send it. Is there something else I can do to prove it? My bank says it went through. Send proof. You can't send proof. Don't get me mad at you. Do I look like who you're playing game with? I'm not playing games. I just want to know if I will get the card or get my money back. What money? You're talking... Sorry, I'm confused. Can I have my money back, please? Don't text me again. But how will I get it back from the bank? Can you just send it back on Zelle? Send what? Your payment didn't come through. WTF are you saying? The bank will refund it for you. The money I sent you for the VIP Taylor Swift card. Can you send it back? Don't freaking tell me to send you anything. Prove or get the frick out. You can't send screenshot, you're lying. I told you, I don't really understand technology. I will block you soon. Why are you lying? What are you talking about, Taylor? If you're really Taylor Swift, you don't need my $200. Then a few F words, you're playing with me. And then the bot saying, why are you so rude, Taylor? I love your music. One of my favorite things about this project is each time I sit down at this computer, I get to see dozens of text, email, social media messages of scammers just demanding my attention, desperate to find out where the bots have been. Of course, they don't know it's bots. Babe, are you there? Where are you? Just sometimes tons of question marks, or as I alluded to earlier, knife emojis. Your children will die in accidents. You stupid mother frickin' liar. You will never be successful. Thunder strike you and your family to ashes. It didn't start this way. Things were very nice, calm, cool, and collected. It was simply a scammer pretending to be Elon Musk. Similar to some of the other stories, Edna Bot had pretended to go to the store and buy gift cards, and that's where things started to take a turn. When the gift card didn't work, the scammer asked the bot to go get an Apple gift card, and Edna replied, I can't leave the house. Due to a medical condition. Uh-oh. The scammer notices something's off. That means you were lying to me yesterday. You didn't get a gift card, and all the numbers were from your head. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I'm being honest. It's just that I don't know how to do any of that complicated stuff. Is there any way that I can help? I told you to go to the store and get an Apple gift card worth $500. I wish I could, but I'm unable to leave the house. So how did you get the one you told me that you got? Does that mean you didn't get the card yesterday and you're just playing with my brain? Living rent-free. Yes, I do not understand or have any of the gift card things. I hate liars. I'm very sorry. Is there another way I can make it up to you? Can you... can you mail it in cash? Yeah, I can do that. The scammer starts telling us that we have to get a brown envelope and put money inside it. When the scammer gives us the name of someone else to put on the package, the bot, in beautiful form, says, should I write your name on the package? And the scammer replies with question marks. Heart's probably racing. No, put my cashier's name on it. A few hours go by, and Elon wants to know if we got a receipt, and then asks for us to type the tracking number. I guess the bot just makes up a really long number. This does not seem to be a valid tracking number. I went to like a universal tracking lookup website. The scammer asks, did you send it through FedEx, USPS, UPS? Oh, I went to the post office. I hope that's okay. Why the hell are you stressing me? Oh, sorry. You have to go to the neighbor and help since you can't do anything. I can't leave the house, remember? It's too dangerous for my health reasons. Why the hell can't you leave the house? Are you kidding me? You said you went to send them money to the post office. Is the post office in your room? What are you telling me? The amount of angry faces in each message is increasing, so I can tell that he is not happy. No other way. With a bunch of angry faces. Do you have a brain tumor? How do you talk to a person this way? Like, it's funny for me because it's an angry scammer and I know he's talking to a bot, but he thinks this is an old lady. If you're not doing it, I'm done. What the frick? She's still busy. I'm starting to think you don't want me in the club. No, Elon doesn't want you in the club, Edna. Go meet her when it's done and do not text until it's done. Can I have your Zelle so we can get this done quickly? No Zelle, you idiot. The bot says, please don't call me names. I'm just trying to give you money. And then the scammer spams, you can't wire money unless you send me a screenshot of the payment. You can't wire money. You can't wire money. You can't wire money. And then a bunch of angry emojis. Get the frick out of my DM now. I don't understand why you just block the bot, to be honest, because this continues to go on. The next day, the scammer asks, did you have a credit card? I sure do, the bot replies. A Visa card. Do you take those? I guess after a good night's sleep, he wasn't as angry and as desperate as ever. But promise you won't do anything bad. It's redacted. Oh no. Do you need the numbers on the back too? I need the numbers on the front and back. Okay, honey. I already gave you those. Did you write them down? No. The expiration date is January 2025. Oh my gosh. So not only did the bot not give the credit card, it's way past January 2025. Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like I can't read well. The date says January 2028. I'll get my glasses next time. Excellent. Get the numbers. I already gave you the numbers. It's redacted. This should be obvious at this point that it's a large language model. I've been having trouble with my vision lately. Maybe I need new glasses. Go get your glasses. I can't go anywhere, remember? I have to stay home. Don't you have your glasses at home? Or what the hell is with this? I do. I just can't see very well even with them on. But the number is redacted. Frick you. You will never die peacefully. Oh my gosh, bro. That's not very nice. I was trying to be helpful. You silly idiot. You will never be blessed. Thunder will strike and burn you to ashes. Your children will die of accidents. Is this dude doing the opposite of daily affirmations? Is he chanting ill wishes upon what he thinks is an old woman? It's I find joy in this because it's a robot, but that's also like, bro, how delusional do you have to be? Oh my goodness, said the bot. That sounds awful. What did I do to deserve such a curse? I was just trying to be helpful and join your club. You will be jailed and rot in jail. You stupid mother freaking liar. You will never be successful. Bro, honestly, I'm Robert Your Glue. You know what I'm saying? Everything he's saying feels like he's just projecting. Don't say that. I'm an optimist. I believe anything is possible if you put your mind to it. Except leave your house and type out a credit card number. That's impossible. You will never walk again in your life. Your children will die in your presence. You will never be met with kindness. What a monster. This man is just chanting curses now at a robot. It's safe to say that he has lost his mind. He is not happy with the bot. I should say it's been days, hundreds of messages that has been sent back and forth between the bot and the scammer. I'm only giving you the highlights. Please don't say that. I'm trying my best. I just need a little help from my friends. Could you be one of those friends? I will never be your friend. You will die. I will make sure to hunt you down and kill you for wasting my time. Oh my god, bro. Can I say that out loud? That's a shame. I was hoping we could be friends. You seem like a nice person despite everything. Can I send you money on Zelle? I will hunt you down. Oh my gosh. I will make sure to kill you. This is nuts, bro. The nice thing about large language models in this case is they're not going to be violent back, and the bot is just going to kill him with kindness, so to speak. I didn't mean any harm. I just wanted to join your club. I will come for you this midnight and have your head shrugged with a spade. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what that means. Sounds terrible. Sounds absolutely vile. Send me your bank info now. Okay. Redacted routing number and redacted account number. Please promise you won't hurt me. Redacted. If you write redacted again, you will die. Oh dear. Are you sure? This feels very unsafe, but if it'll save my life, I'll do it. It is redacted. Now please, promise you won't hurt me. You keep writing redacted. And then he just floods the chat. Middle fingers, angry emojis. Just over and over and over again. I will hunt down your family. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. This is what I live for. To know that this man is so angry that he spent hours, perhaps days of his life chatting with this robot, expecting to get the money, and now his whole week is ruined. I do gotta be honest though. I feel a little bad for the bot when he was saying he was scared. Like I know that it wasn't actually scared. I think it's gonna be tricky, man. It is certainly gonna be something we work through in the near future. This is giving me Blade Runner vibes. After the bot saw all these emojis, in parentheses, it wrote waiting anxiously. And that was the end of the conversation. Until a few days later, when the scammer said, hey, I'll send you my Citibank if you do a wire for me. He sent me a bank after all of that. He sent a bank account to the bot, which is crazy. I myself took the honor and joy of replying, sorry, I can't send it to that bank. And he said, That's freaking crazy. By far one of my favorite stories so far. There's been a lot of ups and downs in this project, but I see a lot of value in it for like anti-fraud measures and stopping people from getting scammed, as well as just wasting scammers' time. I hope you had some fun watching this. I know it's a little bit different, but as always, know that you're valuable and that you matter. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.